With millions of people passing through one of the 7 wonders of the world right in their backyard, a lot of people say the city of Niagara Falls is actually kind of corrupted politically. Let's go over all the pros and cons of living in Niagara Falls right now. What's going on, you guys? I hope all is well. As always, welcome back to the channel if you guys are returning, and if you guys are new, welcome to the channel. This is Buffalo Living, where we cover every single thing Buffalo and Niagara Falls in this case. If you guys don't already know, my name is Devonte Davis, the local realtor in around the Buffalo area, including all major suburbs and Niagara Falls. So let's talk about the pros and cons of Niagara Falls, because this is a big one. Even myself, I'm still always shocked every single time I go up to the Niagara Falls area. Now, to give you guys some context, I was born and raised in Buffalo all my life. This is where I was born, bred, grew up. I didn't move from this town to that town, in the city, back out the city. It don't matter. I know a lot about the Buffalo area. So today, a lot of people have been asking about the Niagara Falls area, and this is about 26 to about 28 minutes from the downtown area of Buffalo. Now, depending on where you're going in Niagara Falls, it can stretch up to 40 minutes, but you guys can get that 30 mile. It's about 30 miles away, give or take. Now, Niagara Falls, and this is literally definitely off my perception of being there and just roaming around there, selling a couple houses up there, all that good stuff. Niagara Falls is unlike, it's like night and day from Buffalo. You wouldn't think, with the amount of traffic they get, Niagara Falls, no exaggeration. Niagara, if you look on Google right now, people going to Niagara Falls is like 350,000 times a month. People are Googling Niagara Falls. Now, it is broken up into two sections. You have the Canadian side over here. You have the U.S. side over here. I'm talking about the U.S. side. I'm not talking about the Canadian side. The Canadian side is, I can tell you off the bat, way nicer, and it's a lot more expensive. You got Clifton Hills over there and a bunch of stuff. The U.S. side of Niagara Falls looks like, once you coming off John Daly, it almost looks like a horror story. I kid you not. You have this big, beautiful building of the Seneca One casino. It is awesome. I mean, they hold concerts there, big name people there. I think Cedric, the entertainer, were just there. They got a bunch of concerts up there. It's beautiful. It's blue glass. It look amazing. Literally across the street, you have about 20 abandoned houses. Like, it's fascinating the way the city of Niagara Falls looks. And we'll get into even more pros and cons in a little bit. I'm just giving you a little background information. Now, is all parts of Niagara Falls bad? No. I break it up into two sections. You have below Hyde Park, which is basically west going towards the water more, and then you have above Hyde Park, which is going towards the outlet in the town of Niagara, and keep shooting all the way back, basically just going east. So these two sections of the city are vastly different. But in Little Italy, or below like 22 or 22nd, 20th Street, it gets iffy over there. I can tell you right now. Not saying, y'all know me, I don't disrespect nobody in the neighborhood. That's something I will not do. But it is tough. And once you start to get downtown Niagara Falls, anything in Little Italy below 22nd, it gets tough. Once you get, again, above Hyde Park, 50th Street, 40th Street, it gets a lot better over there. And Niagara Falls is what I call like a spotty area. You can have literally a couple blocks where it's beautiful. You go 3 blocks though, it's somewhere you don't want to catch yourself at night. I can tell you that right now. And that's how it is. It's literally like, it's pockets. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But some pros and cons. Let's start with the good. The beautiful thing is, you literally have one of the most beautiful scenic, I mean, something you just feast your eyes on, which is Niagara Falls in your backyard. Literally, it attracts, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people per year. Even being in the Buffalo area, you'll run into a lot of people. What you up here for? Oh, we're going to see the falls. So that's one thing that can tell you a lot right there. People stay in Buffalo and just travel up to the falls. It's not far, but it just, Niagara Falls, I'm telling you, it's a little iffy in some places. A little iffy. But that's one of the most beautiful things. The second great thing is, you can cross the border whenever you want to. Obviously, have all your things that you need to do. If you want to save some money, you can literally live in Niagara Falls on the US side because housing is so affordable, and then just go across the border and go to work. Like I know a lot of people do that. A company I used to work for way back when I first got out of college, it was a couple of people who worked at my company that they lived, they lived in Canada, or they were from Canada, but they worked in Buffalo. Same vice versa. If you live on the US side, and with Canadian prices right now being at $750,000 to $1 million for a condo, it may be worth it to live on this side and just travel over every single day, especially if your commute is only 30 minutes or 40 minutes, depending on how far you want to drive. Affordability in housing right now, Niagara, no exaggeration, you can literally find a house in Niagara Falls right now for $50,000, $70,000 easily. I mean, easy, like it's not a problem. Will it need some work? Heck yeah. But you can literally, I'm talking about with $150,000 in Niagara Falls, you're gonna be looking pretty nice. No exaggeration. You may get a nice ranch, maybe 1,200, 1,300 square feet. I mean, you're gonna be living pretty good in Niagara Falls because the cost of living is so low. It's almost up there. I would even say probably a little lower than Buffalo prices, to be honest with you. I mean, there's just not a lot going on inside the city. Is it beautiful? Yes. You have 3 state parks, Niagara Falls State Park or Niagara State Park. It's absolutely amazing. It's a couple other state parks up there that's beautiful. Around the state parks are really nice. I'm talking about, then you'll have your $300,000-$400,000 homes. But anywhere else or around the Niagara Falls area, it's very, you just wouldn't expect for a place to get so many attraction and visitors per year for it to look like this. Just looking at the stats right now, there were 504 homes that sold last year in the city of Niagara Falls. Guess what the average home price was? $125,000. Now, if you take the town of Niagara, for instance, this is a little different. So this is basically the outskirts of Niagara Falls. It still is not that much higher. Out of the 125 homes that sold in the town of Niagara Falls last year, the median or the average was around $198,000. So you can see, your dollar does stretch when it comes to affordability and housing in the Niagara Falls area. So that is definitely something to think about. Here's the even more bizarre thing at that. Inside the city of Niagara Falls, guess what the highest house was sold for? $485,000. Let that ponder for a little bit. Honestly, one of the greatest things about the Niagara Falls area is the diversity. It's probably at a 65-35% when they talk about minorities to one of the greatest things about the Niagara Falls area is the diversity, to be honest with you. You gotta think, at one point, Niagara Falls, again, Buffalo was booming, and this is no different. And the reason why that is because a lot of factories up there, in 1940 to 80, factory workers was the thing. It didn't matter what color you was trying to just get into the factory. That was a dream job. You get you a nice gold watch and you good to go. So that's one thing that makes Niagara Falls pretty cool, is because the diversity, I think it's around 65 to about 35, 70, 30 when it comes to minorities to non-minorities. So I mean, that's one of the greatest things about Niagara Falls. Even just walking down the streets and things like that, you see some of everybody, which is an amazing thing. On the opposite end of that, literally the entire city is only about 50,000 people inside the city. Now, when you start including the town, it does hike up quite a bit, but 50,000 people for a city is not a lot of people. That's one thing that's stunning to me, because again, this place can be so beautiful. It just needs so many improvements. The streets of Niagara Falls is probably 10 times worse than the ones in Buffalo. And y'all know I'll be harping on the Buffalo streets. I swerve in and out of them potholes so much when I go to Niagara Falls. It's astounding. That's one thing I always do think about, especially when it comes to the tourism. If so many people come in here, where is the money going? They got to be staying in our hotels, right? They got to be staying close by. Where is the money going from the tourists? And what is these people doing with all the taxes that Niagara people are paying? I was just reading an article, or somebody just sent me an article. I should say that Niagara Niagara is almost one of the highest paid tax counties inside of New York. That's kind of crazy because I just told you how much these houses cost. They don't cost a lot. So where's the tax dollars going if the assessed value is going crazy up? That's especially even once you get to Lockport taxes is crazy, especially inside the town. You can be easily looking at $6,000 to about $8,000 in taxes. That's almost like Amherst prices. And last but not least, I did say this for a reason. The crime in Buffalo, like I told you guys earlier, it's tough. The crime in Niagara Falls is high. Very high. Again, there's pockets that I would just not go. I'm letting you know. And it's not as a bad thing. Again, I don't disrespect nobody's neighborhood. It just gets rough over there. I could tell you that straight up. The crime is extremely high in Niagara Falls. And again, it's so fascinating to me, man, because this city has a lot of potential, but it needs a lot of development. And I could tell you just from a couple of investor friends of mine, they bought a couple 4 units up there. It's like the political environment up there is so crazy. They bought a 4 unit. And no exaggeration, I mean, the loops that the city was making them go through just to be able to get the permits for the building to start the construction. Think about it. We're purchasing the home or the investment property to build it up and to beautify the city. And the hoops you had to use this contractor or this appraiser to go through this appraiser, and they're referring you to this other appraiser. Like it was nuts, the amount of hoops that they was making you go through. And literally they're help building the city up. Like it's fascinating. Instead of an abandoned building, now you're about to have a solid place for people to live, and it's going to be all redone, brand new 2022 standards, granite countertops. And it's just crazy. So, I mean, Niagara Falls is cool. If you guys want to go up there, if you want some investment properties, make sure you're not a slumlord. But if you want some nice piece of property, or if you're looking, again, above Hyde Park, I mean, those areas are really, really nice. In some areas you stay out of, overall, it's generally a pretty nice place. I don't have no problems when I go up there, but it needs a lot of development. And it just needs a lot of development. It's crazy. But nonetheless, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys need anything from me, make sure you guys hit me up with a call, email, text. It does not matter. You guys know I always respond. If you guys are moving up to the Buffalo area, up to the Niagara Falls area, or you guys are already in these areas looking to move around, make sure you guys hit me up ASAP. You guys know we'll jump on a Zoom call, get your timeline mapped out right away. And if you guys need anything, drop it in the comment box, or I'll see you in the next one.